This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. And guess what? The transfer portal, it's swirling around.
Oh,
It's
always active.
Always active. Couple of Georgia players in, couple maybe not in. We're reading the tea leaves talking about quarterbacks. Yes, quarterbacks in the transfer portal because we have nothing else to talk about this offseason. Next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. More on them in a second. We're still alive. Listen, I'm not going to act like that we didn't get... Just let the record show, Alabama fans. We're not scared to record podcasts because of your mean comments. We are... battling some illness over here, and but we're fine. But we're back. Got a couple more episodes for you this week, and today we're talking about quarterbacks. Georgia loses a quarterback. Is that good news for Georgia? Could be. It could be. It could not be.
It could be either. Here, let me give you two options. Okay. Option one. It's great news. It solidifies, it calms things down, it clarifies depth chart, recruiting, everything kind of falls into place.
I like that.
There's no more egos to stress over, no more feathers to calm down. And it means we have continuity at the most important position on the field heading into next year when we need it. That's option one.
Okay.
Option two.
There, Clint.
Is that we head into next season without a quarterback on the roster who has taken one meaningful snap in SEC play, nay, a meaningful snap against a Power 5 opponent in the history of our program. Right. It never suited up, and we're riding in on a bounce-back season with a quarterback who Mike Bobo can't talk about page 2 of the playbook yet.
You better just stick with page 1 there, Mike. All right, let's talk about Brock Vandagriff first, because obviously news comes out this week. Brock Vandagriff transferring to Kentucky. Went ahead and got that paycheck.
Real quick trip through the portal, Dan.
Quick trip of the portal. Some would say that Kentucky was tampering with, talking to Brock Vandagriff long before the portal even opened. But no, we won't go there. It's not like college football is broken, is it, Clint? Have we gotten any indication this year that college football is broken?
It's not like NCAA is a joke of an institution. And when you get absolute power revoked and the rug pulled out from under you, NCAA, and you want to go crying to somebody, you literally will turn around to a crowd. Nope, no one will be there, because all of us will be elsewhere saying, you're the reason this was broken, and you're the reason you have no more power because you're useless and corrupt.
What if I told you that this was already the sport where you could win every single game and not have the option to compete for a championship? Would that surprise you to learn that there's other things wrong with it as well?
That seems to fit the narrative I just got done describing.
Okay, great. So Brock Vandagriff in the portal. He's headed to Kentucky. Now, let's just start with Brock. Number one, I am thrilled for Brock Vandagriff because he's been a great teammate.
Yeah,
he has been. He's bided his time on the depth chart. He has worked hard in practice. He's helped the team, and now two things are going to happen. One, he's going to have a chance to start immediately for an SEC school.
There it is.
He's going to have a chance to go prove himself the way that Will Levis did coming out of Penn State. Never got a chance at Penn State. And then Will Levis goes to Kentucky. Lo and behold, first round draft pick. And so I'm sure that's what Brock Vandagriff is thinking.
What he's banking on.
And, you know, Kudos to him. Second thing I'm happy about for Brock is Brock went ahead and got that paycheck. He went ahead and got himself a little cash in the transfer portal. And I mean, good on you. I am never going to fault somebody for going after the bag and taking the money. Before we get to Georgia, Clint, just your quick thoughts on Brock Vandegrift's likelihood of success at Kentucky.
Oh, it's going to be 0 because
wow,
it's going to be Dan. What was Leary's success at Kentucky? What was Will Levis's success at Kentucky outside of the
I mean, personal success, incredible.
Okay, but
team success, 0.
Really? I'm gonna push back on personal success, incredible, because the man got ghosted by his girl because he sat too long in the green room, because he couldn't get picked because please hold on that.
I mean, he's the current starting quarterback on one of the 32 NFL teams in existence. So, and they're not looking to draft another quarterback this year. I'll just say the Tennessee Titans like Will Levis.
Wow.
So
that should tell you more about the Tennessee Titans than it does anything else.
I don't have time to talk about the flaws of professional sports
I know
teams.
you do. That's exactly right. So I'm going to say 0, and here's why I say 0.
Okay.
Because Brock Vandegrift is not Will Levis, first of all.
Well, he's not.
Okay. He's not at all. By the way, good for you. 2 things. Good for us, again, coordinating the wardrobe. I think that's part 1. Part 2.
Listen, the sick wardrobe for me is just it's a one piece. Like
it's just a black shawl, and we are
black on black. It hides the stains, and we're just wearing it. We are just
Second
wearing
thing,
it.
I'm proud of us for not talking about exporting Brock Vandelay by exporting him out of Athens. Good on you.
I'll be honest with you. If I hadn't been sick, guys, that's on me. Listeners, $1.99, you deserve better than that. I should have come with one last import-export joke.
You should have. No, here's why. They don't have the coaching. They don't have the guys. They don't have the dudes.
No.
It's not the same. He's going to be able to shine if he can. But the problem is he needs a supporting cast to shine, or he turns into huck it deep or run. Georgia fans, we know this. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's going to be worse.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Also, Kentucky lost their head coach to Texas A&M.
Nope.
Hang on.
Hold on. No. You're wrong.
Checking my notes here. That did not happen.
It didn't happen. Then what was that?
No.
By the way, don't hear me say say that I'm rooting against him. I hope he
No.
Go do well.
Rooting for the kid, except for week 3 next year. But rooting for the kid.
Which, by the way, we're going to talk tomorrow about the schedule.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to come back in the second segment. We're going to talk about what it means for Georgia. Reading the tea leaves, nothing official.
It's more important. It's more important.
It's more vital.
Significant to some.
That's right. But first, this. And this is, in fact, FanDuel. Daniel, FanDuel is fantastic. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now,
I love that.
New customers get $150.
Did you write that yourself? That's nice.
I wish I could.
Poetic.
It is poetic. Customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. You put a money line down, $5, you win. Guess what? $150 on top right after that.
Love that.
$150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, no better time to get on the action. The app is so easy to use. Wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over, unders, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season, or in this case, keep the NFL season going.
Yeah.
FanDuel.
Kick off the latter third of the NFL season. That's what we're doing.
FanDuel. Make every moment more. All right, Daniel, let's talk about what it means for Georgia. This is nothing official because, again, by the way, we're now entering the time in life in which a scholarship...
Literally nothing is official. Nothing is official.
This is what I mean. Where a scholastic athlete at your university who has eligibility, who is on the team, who is playing, who is dressing, who is on the roster for the bowl game, we have to wait to find out if he's still on the team. And even that is not really meaning anything because it could change in a moment. But That's why we're reading tea leaves right now. Tea leaves are indicating that Carson Beck is in fact coming back for another year. Daniel.
Now, let's talk about the Brock Vandegrift. There's only 2 reasons to transfer. Okay. Number one is you're scared of Gunnar Stockton. You're scared of the competition with Gunnar Stockton or some transfer portal quarterback that Kirby brings in. Whatever. That could be the reason that Brock Vandegrift transferred.
Could be.
Seems as though Brock Vandegrift might have chosen to transfer earlier. Maybe he wanted to graduate. He did get his degree from Georgia, and so that could be that factors in as well. The other reason that you transfer if you're Brock Vandegrift is if your good friend Carson Beck has told you that he is coming back to school, that he's not going to the NFL this year. He's going to come back for one more year at Georgia, and you're out. Obviously, if you're a Georgia fan, that's the reason you're hoping that Brock chose to transfer. You know, there's been some reporting out there. There's been some people talking about Carson Beck leaning towards coming back. He wants a ring. He wants to win a championship, all of those things. I will say this. I will say with the Brock Vandegrift news of him transferring out, I would lean towards at this point, Carson Beck is probably coming back. And part of the reason I feel that way, Clint, is because of Kirby's track record of success. I say success in this regard, getting people to come back for another year instead of going off to the NFL. You look at a guy like Cedric Van Pran last year. There's been, countless example after example after example, guys that could have gone on to the NFL chose to come back for another year, most notably all the way back to Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, Lorenzo Carter, and that crew. But it wouldn't shock me if we had another one of those situations. Kirby's built a program and a culture where guys expect to win championships. I think Carson Beck fully expected to win a championship. I think Carson Beck is pissed that he doesn't have an opportunity to compete for a championship.
Yep.
And I don't think he was crazy about how his offense performed in that SEC championship game. And so it wouldn't shock me if he comes back. Obviously, I think he's got first-round talent. The question is, if he comes back, can he be like top 10 talent? Could he be number 1 quarterback taken in the draft talent? Because that's a whole nother level of money.
And it is. That's what you hope to do. If you're thinking, I might be 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 34th pick, somewhere like that, then just go. Just get on out of here. If you anticipate being in the top 15, that's where things change drastically. The pay scale of things closer to the top changes drastically. Bigger signing bonuses, bigger trajectory 4 or 5 years down the road. Here's what I will say. If you look back at Carson Beck's development, if you were just to transcribe Carson Beck's development from game 1 to the end of the season so far, I know the end of the season, SEC championship, he didn't perform as intended, but the entirety of the season up to that was a trajectory that was up. It was an upward mobile type movement.
Yeah.
If he can replicate that, he's in the top 20 of picks next year. Like, if he just does that again from where he's at, he's in the top 20. And that's what he's
at the quarterback class of this year versus next year. You got Drake May and Caleb Williams like locking down the top of that quarterback class.
That's it.
Right? There's nobody that's going to get into that neighborhood, no matter how well you perform at the combine, no matter how good your pro day is, no matter how well your interviews go. But you look at next year's, and all of a sudden, like, there's no reason going into the season. Carson Beck is a Heisman front runner. Going into the season, Carson Beck is getting all that attention, all that love, and he could be that guy. He could be that Drake May going into next season.
Yes.
And, and play his way right into top 5 overall pick.
And you and I,
it would be really good. I mean, back to what Clint said at the beginning. It would be really good for Georgia. I'm talking about really good for Georgia. And I don't care how you feel about Gunnar Stockton, Dylan Raiola, or anyone else. It would be really good for Georgia if Carson Beck came back. there's a lot of continuity on this offense next year. Now, you're going to be down several key linemen, and you're obviously going to be down Brock Bowers, the best college football player that's ever played. But there's a lot of continuity in the receiving core. And if you bring back Carson Beck, the Georgia passing game going into next year looks to be dynamic right from the jump, right from the get-go.
Yes.
You've got a plethora of talent ready and willing at Mike Bobo's disposal. So could be huge news for Georgia. Obviously, Brock Vandagriff out. That's not great news, but it is to be expected. Clint and I have been saying for a long time, some of these quarterbacks are going to transfer, and that's just the way that it goes. What you hope is that means Georgia's going to lose just the one quarterback this offseason and not multiple quarterbacks, including Carson Beck. And so we'll be back. We've got third segment stuff to talk about right after this.
But first, Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It's easy, exciting. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than 2 to 6 players, stat projections.
How you phrase that.
And watch the winnings roll on in.
You just watch it pile up.
You just pile it up. Want to play alongside Prize Picks favorite players like Meek Mill and comedian Adam Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promo tab in the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. So football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half, does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance policy. Man, that's wild. Right now, go to prizepicks.com/lockedoncollege. Use promo code lockedoncollege. Daniel and I love them. Go over there. It's so much fun. We enjoy doing it. You should do it with us. prizepicks.com/lockedoncollege. Use promo code lockedoncollege for a first deposit match up to $100. You put in $100, they give you $100. It's pretty simple, easy, daily fantasy sports made easy. Daniel, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this segment, and then I'm going to sit back and I'm going to invite the 199. If you're part of the 199, you're here with us right now. Congratulations. We sent out the gift card last week. This week.
Congrats to Jordan. Again.
Wins the 199 home field gift card. We sent it out to him. Thanks for being part of
Jordan. It was not $199. It's just he said the 199 gift card. It was
see how that. You got to be careful. Okay, the 199 are the people in which that we wanted to give the gift card to. Jordan got the gift card from us for being part of the 199.
Here it is.
Okay, now if you're here, you need to stay here because I hate to break it to you, but this is the only exciting thing you have for some time. Okay, so you can be on pins and needles watching Ohio State running back, watching quarterback news, watching Arch Manning news, try to figure out where the heck they're going, or you can be a sane human being.
There it is.
And you could be excited about play on a competitive advantage for UGA, and that is in fact the basketball team, Daniel. So far, Mike White living up to a billing. Daniel, can I just that's beyond fair to say. I might even be underplaying that. Daniel,
you are underplaying that.
Thank you.
The fact that he took a 6-win team that he inherited,
and what has happened?
6-win team.
What's happened so far?
He increased that by 10 wins in his first year, from 6 wins to 16 wins. And now in his second season, Mike White's got the Georgia basketball team at 6-3. Their only 3 losses are to Power 6, Power Conference schools. Lost to Oregon, lost to Miami, a Final Four team from last year, and lost to Providence. None of which are anything that's going to hurt you in terms of a resume. Meanwhile, Georgia already has wins over 3 ACC schools, win over Georgia Tech last night, win over Florida State on the road in dramatic comeback fashion, and a win over Wake Forest. And those wins just keep looking better and better as the season goes on. Not 6-3, chance to go 10-3 before conference play starts. And Clint, more importantly than any of that,
Please.
the team's really fun to watch. Like, they're a fun basketball team to watch.
So if you're not, this is the interesting thing about basketball, especially basketball after the Tom Crean positionless player
Please stop with
fiasco.
Tom Crean. Just never mention Tom Crean to
I
me.
can't, Daniel. I can't, because I have to tell the people this is what I was sold a bill of sale that was fraudulent. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I came in and I got all into it, and then I learned out that I found out that Tom Crean has no idea what coaching is, because he just said, "We're just going to put players out there. I don't care what position, because whatever." And all of a sudden, Mike White comes in, and this is the main thing: crisp fundamentals leaves players to flow in the game for excitement. And that is what's happening under Mike White. You just watch this team and you can tell they're confident in what they need to be confident of, so they can ad lib where they need to. And it's just, Daniel, it is fun to watch.
It is. And it's a combination of, by the way, there were three schools in all of college basketball that signed last year a top 20 transfer portal class and a top 20 freshman class.
So that's bringing in top tier returning players and players that have raw talent with no experience.
That's right. Georgia's one of those three teams. And so there's a lot of young talent. Silas Demery, Blue Kane getting a ton of action, both true freshmen guards. Silas Demery has been a revelation. He's a 6'4" point guard. In the game against Georgia Tech, they were running ball screens with the center and our point guard switching off on the opposing center, guarding him in the post, blocking him out, and getting rebounds, while our 7'1" center is out guarding on the perimeter, doing a tremendous job. I love the way this team plays. Offensively, they've still got, I think, they've still got room to grow, but they are coming together offensively. Obviously, Noah Thomason is just like a straight up scorer.
That's it.
Justin Hill's been playing a lot better. And guys like RJ Melendez are finding their roles. And it's a really fun basketball team to watch. They got a little bit of a layoff because of finals, and then they've got High Point and then three other kind of smaller schools before opening in conference play. I'm telling you, Clint, if you're watching college basketball, that win on the road at Florida State, that's going to be a huge win at the end of this season. The win at home over Wake Forest, that's got a chance to be a huge win. I think Wake Forest is a really good basketball team. Now, Georgia Tech is probably not going to be that good this year, and so that win's probably not going to mean as much. But Georgia's going to have some opportunities. I'm not saying that this is a team you should watch out for to make the NCAA tournament. That would be premature. But this is a team that you should watch to see what they become in conference play.
Because we're going to find out real quick, as a matter of fact, Daniel.
Yeah.
So let me give the next 4 games, which is going to tell you practically nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's just High Point, Mountain St. Mary's, North Florida, Alabama A&M. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I say they're 6-3 now. Got a good shot to be 10-3, all home games going into conference play.
Okay.
Then what happens?
And then you hit the road against Missouri, Daniel.
Okay. It's a really good basketball team.
Really good basketball team, road SEC game.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Arkansas, how they've been the last few years, Daniel.
Arkansas is a potentially Final Four team. That's a really good team.
It's a really, really good team. And then Tennessee. How about we just welcome Tennessee on in? That's going to be another one. And then South Carolina, Kentucky, LSU. I mean, the gauntlet just goes and goes and goes. It's SEC. There's
in SEC play, there's not going to be any nights off. But that's great. Georgia football fans struggle with this because
it's okay.
Not trying to drag up old wounds, but in football, if you lose one game, your season ends. That's apparently what happens. You win 29 in a row, and then you lose one, and you don't get to play any more meaningful games. That's not how it goes in basketball. What you want in basketball is opportunities to get resume wins, and Georgia's going to have a ton of those opportunities. What they need to do is take advantage of some of them and put together a competitive record in the league. And if they do that, at the end of the year, they're going to have a decent, reasonable shot to be a postseason team.
What's the likelihood we start 2-2 in SEC play, Daniel? First 4 games: Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee at home, Georgia, South Carolina on the road. What
if we start 2-2 of those 4 games? You better be researching like sites of where the NCAA tournament's going to be. Like
that's what I mean.
We start 2-2, and the 2 easiest games are on the road at Missouri and on the road at South Carolina. Like you better just mark something down for this Georgia basketball team, because that is a stretch of 4 games that is ridiculous.
He is Daniel. I am Clint. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Come back tomorrow. We're talking SEC football schedule. Look ahead for next year. We'll see y'all then.
It's obnoxious.